And there it is. There it is, guys. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And as predicted, there are going to be many changes to Master Chief for the Halo live action TV series. And yeah, I'm not real.
No, and we joked in our video. We said, "Oh, it's probably about that girl they keep showing all the time." And guess what?
Guess what?
I think it is.
It is. It is. So there was an interview out there with Den of Geek where they're talking about a lot of the changes, especially to Master Chief's past. I guess he's going to have amnesia or some such shit.
Of course. That's not an overused trope or anything.
Master Chief needs a woman to help him remember how to be a womanly man or something. I don't know. We're gonna talk about that, and we're also gonna talk about the first reviews. They're not great.
Oh, really?
It's very middling at this point.
When does it come out to everybody else?
I want to say the end of the month.
Okay, so these are like the early reviews from
reviews. The embargo has been lifted, so we'll see what the audience thinks once it comes out. And I can tell you, knowing the Halo fandom and knowing the changes they're gonna make, it's not gonna go over very well. I'm gonna tell you.
Well, they're complaining about that, yes.
Yeah. So before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. Over 260,000 subs.
Yay!
Thank you so much for the support. We do talk about pop culture, talk about video games, video game news. This is kind of a big deal. A Halo live-action TV series has been in the works for a very long time, and they still managed to fuck it up.
Well, was anybody surprised, given that it's Paramount, that they were going to F it up?
Yeah, the people behind Star Trek Discovery and Picard are messing up Halo. Imagine that.
Shocker, right?
Imagine that. So, Bounding in the Comics actually has an article out there on it, and I think they were going out to the interview on Den of Geek, but they put a much more blunt spin on things. At Bounding in the Comics, you have to really dig in the Den of Geek article to find out what they're talking about. And yeah, they're going to focus on this brand new character
with unfortunate haircut and bangs.
With a very unfortunate haircut. So, coming from Bounding in the Comics, hot off the heels of the controversial announcement, the series protagonist will be unmasked for his upcoming Paramount Plus debut. The Halo TV series has revealed that not only will their version of Master Chief be a near completely different version of the iconic character, you don't
Shocker.
say, but the heavily advertised teenage female lead, is it Kwan Ah, will be a focus of the series as she provides a human perspective on the story.
Which we said. They keep showing her an awful lot. You want to bet she's the main character.
We said that.
Yep,
yes,
there it is. Diversity and inclusion.
These upcoming details regarding the upcoming live-action adaptation of the Bungie-created sci-fi franchise were touched upon by the head of Halo Studio Transmedia, Kiki Wolfkill, who also serves as an executive producer. Blah, 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 blah. During a recent interview given to Den of Geeks. At the onset of the interview, Wolfkill explained to Krause that the team had decided to set Halo in a new silver timeline.
So okay, so it's an alternate timeline.
Yes, and they did that so when the fans rage about this series, which they will, they can say, it's okay, it's not canon. If it's not for you, that's okay. This is a brand new timeline. You still have your games.
We're going to go with the multiverse defense.
The multiverse.
Like they did with the Kelvin timeline in the Star Trek movies. Because one thing changed. It's a completely different timeline.
Yeah. They said, yeah, this is like the Star Trek movies. In order to allow the opportunity to make changes to the franchise's continuity and lore. This is going to be the catch-all for everything. Every superhero movie going forward. Every Star Wars movie going forward. They'll just be like, oh, it doesn't really matter. There is no more canon. We just tell individual stories. And they can be completely overwritten by the next creative team that comes in.
At that point, why bother?
Why bother? Because nothing matters anymore.
Yeah.
You know, why bother? From the very beginning, it was clear that in order to let the story evolve and grow the way it needed to.
The way they wanted to.
Yep. In order to really go deep into these character arcs, we would need to make some changes.
So we needed to make up new characters with new character arcs, and in order to get people to trick people into coming in to watch it, we had to put the Halo paint on it, so we could dig deep into these new characters we just invented.
Sometimes it was a perspective change. Sometimes it was something you didn't get a view on from the game or the books. We knew we needed to let the story breathe on its own because there's not enough Halo lore out there to pull from. There's just not enough lore. It's kind of like Kathleen Kennedy making comments about, there not being enough backstory
Yeah. There wasn't like book after book after book, you know.
At the end of the day, it all comes down to being able to make a moment-to-moment decision. So we're just making it up on the fly like Ed Wood.
That's basically what it is. We just threw it all out the window so we can make it up all new, but somehow it's related and deep and all that shit.
Every day there were decisions to be made about
we made the wrong ones.
do something exactly as it was done in the game, or are there good reasons to do it differently?
Yes, because this has worked out so well for things like She-Ra and all that, you know?
Right. And if so, how do we keep it true to the spirit of Halo, but at the same time keep the voice of all these incredible creators?
What creators? Oh, the ones they just hired to do this project?
You're not creators. You are caretakers of an existing franchise with a massive fan base. You need to tread very carefully.
So they're already setting up the premise of how they're going to call all the fans haters, bigots, misogynists, etc., etc., etc.
Yep. According to Krauss, one such example of a major change made to the series lore is the historic fall of Reach, the Covenant attack that wiped out most of humanity's Spartan soldiers. In the games, this event happens prior to humanity's discovery of the first Halo ring. However, in the series, the fall of Reach has not yet occurred.
Well, that's why they can kill off all the men.
Most likely is a way to allow the production to feature more Spartans. Lots of female Spartans. Are they all going to die?
They invented female Spartans. Don't you know this?
You don't want to just tell the game in television form. You want to have a conversation with the material.
We want to make sure we have a conversation. Conversation with the material means we want to make it like an agenda-driven preach fest.
The game has been around for so long, the canon is not only deep but wide. Then why do you need to rewrite it all? There are opportunities to dig into canon and find characters that were only hinted at.
Yes.
And half mentioned, and also create a whole bunch of new.
Yeah, and make new stuff.
And a whole bunch of new characters. We have all these characters that weren't fully fleshed out. Let's make up some new characters just for this show.
So basically, it's Halo paint.
Yeah, pretty much. And this is talking about the new character. She has animosity toward the Spartans. She begins as our eyes on the Spartans and what we expect them to be.
I mean, I have no problem with an outside character being kind of like your entry in. It's kind of like with the droids in Star Wars and things like that. I don't have a problem with that as long as it doesn't end. But they're making her be the main character. That's the issue.
Yeah, which we knew. And the first time we saw the trailer, I'm like, who is this? Am I misunderstanding, or is this a completely new character? And it turned out it was a completely new character just for this show.
That doesn't mean it won't work, though. I mean, you could totally, if she's doing if her job is to give you a look at the outside looking in so you can see the story unfold, it can work if it's done right. But the fact that they're changing so many other things, I don't think it's going to work.
Yeah, well, this is definitely not going to work. Master Chief himself.
Okay.
I heard about this. I'm like, are you effing kidding me? Like, if you only get one thing right, in the show,
Master Chief has to be it.
You have to get Master Chief right. You can change other shit around Master Chief, but you have to get Master Chief right. He is one of the most iconic, beloved video game characters of all time.
Plus, they point out, the gamer is Master Chief.
Yes. And guess what? They're gonna fuck with Master Chief.
That's where they shouldn't. That's where they need to draw the line.
As for Master Chief himself, Kane asserted his backstory would be one of the elements to be changed.
Oh, no.
In the series' jump from video games to television, changing the Master Chief from a highly indoctrinated super soldier brutally trained from childhood to fight on behalf of the UN Space Command to a mindless automaton whose memory has been erased and has his emotions actively suppressed.
Right, because they're all going to line up to watch that movie or that show. Tell me you want to lose money without telling me you want to lose money. It works so great for Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah, this is not going to go over well.
This sounds worse than Cowboy Bebop.
The Hollywood Reporter claimed on March 11th, rather than viewing Master Chief's opaqueness as a hurdle, Halo makes the character ignorant of his past. His memory has been erased and his emotions chemically suppressed. So the question, who is the Master Chief, becomes a journey for Schreiber's character as well as the audience. Across the debut of the season's 9 episodes, as he finds himself defying orders to protect the young girl. So this is the Mandalorian, basically.
That's what people were saying. They said it was the Mandalorian.
They're looking at the Mandalorian. They're like, yeah, let's just do that, but with Halo. Let's just do that. The key is Master Chief is a bit of a cipher. In the game, you are Master Chief. You don't read the books, you don't know the backstory, but in general, he stands for all of us as we play the game. So this is a chance to get in under the hood.
So we can tell you how problematic Master Chief is.
If you know the canon, you know the history of how he became a Spartan. And it's not a pretty history. No, people want to see that. They want to see, like, this guy's a badass, right? How did he become a badass? That's what I actually think makes the world of the game so interesting. He's not just a clean-cut superhero type. His past is sort of dark. He's both a victim and a hero at the same time. So let's just have him forget all about it. Because that's sad. It's sad. The child abuse is sad.
This is stupid.
Without giving too much away, Master Chief wants to be a constantly... what Master Chief wants is going to be a constantly shifting tapestry.
You guys said shitting tapestry. It's about the same thing.
Based on new information he's being faced with and how it challenges his sense of self and his sense of duty and honor. Okay, good luck. Good fucking luck with this.
I know yeah, I know.
Good luck with this. This is some bullshit.
March 24th.
Pink-haired
like 9
Spartan.
days.
Pink-haired Spartan confirmed. Fuck this. Okay, anyway. Some of the early reviews are coming in. They're not the worst. They're not as bad as Cowboy Bebop, but they're not that great. The frustrating thing about Halo is it tries to serve two masters. Die-hard Halo fans and newbies who are used to the normal rhythms of sci-fi streaming series, and it doesn't please either. The drama comes on strong with ambient techno-babble and bureaucratic realism. It's just as thrilling as a meeting.
Yeah, but then you have the typical people, slash film. Oh, it leaves a lot to be desired, but there are signs of better things to come.
That's not a tomato. That sounds very middling.
No, but up above here, they're like, oh, it's amazing. CBR, the result of a series is a series that manages to evoke many of the core themes and the visuals of the video game, but also deliver a compelling narrative.
Okay. It's exactly what you expect. Halo features a few minor pivots. In these early hours, there's very little to spoil and even less to spark curiosity. It's not already present.
AV Club gave it a splat.
A splat. Schreiber is indeed the most interesting thing about Halo, which isn't necessarily saying much. This adaptation offers a lot of explanations and fun effects, but little else. Halo has the potential to be a good time, but at least in the first episodes, it's not quite there.
But the Hollywood Reporter gave a splat too.
Yeah. Boasting no technological innovation to speak of, few performances to offer meaningful grounding and only limited action thrills, Halo is aggressively forgettable, which is at least several steps up from bad.
Okay, but even Variety is kind of talking about how they used their budget to make it look visually pretty, but that's about it. The series boasts an impressive budget used wisely, with distinct production design distinguishing one planetary location for another, and spaceships zipping through the endless stars. That alone lets Halo keep a pace with its contemporaries. So it looks pretty. They spent a lot of money making it look cool.
Yeah. I think the audience reviews are going to be absolutely effing terrible. If they change everything about the show, they're changing
a lot.
Everything. Like, other than having a guy named Master Chief.
I'm surprised they didn't make Master Chief a woman.
Oh, wait for it.
Or is that what they're trying to do? Like, oh, at the end he's going to retire, and that's okay. They're going to sign Master Chief to a woman. The suit will be great when it fits a woman.
That's exactly, oh my God, you're calling, yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen. He's training his replacement because he's too broken from the news of his traumatic childhood to continue as Master Chief.
And he doesn't remember who he is. So, and his emotions be chemically suppressed. So when they actually come through, it's just too much.
It's too much, and he's been compromised. So
but you know who's strong and would be perfect in that outfit? A woman. That girl.
That girl's going to be Master Chief. By the end of the series, she's going to be Master Chief.
I don't know if that's true, but if it was as cliche as everything else, that's the most cliche I can think of.
Girl, you'll be a Spartan someday. That's exactly what's going to happen.
And then it'll be perfect. And then maybe by then you could do something about that very unfortunate haircut.
Just shave it all off. Shave your head bald.
It does not look good.
We're going to wrap this up.
Yeah.
I think the show's dead on arrival.
I wonder if she had to wear, that's a wig, or she had to wear a wig when she went out in public while she was filming this because it looks so bad.
So Nelson doesn't laugh at her. Ha ha!
It's just
look at your hair.
I don't. Okay.
All right. Anyway,
I can't get past it.
We're gonna wrap this up.
Yes.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. We'll talk later.
Bye.